Now I know a lot of you may be still a little bit disappointed because Rainbow Six Siege didn't turn out as cool as it looked in the original video from E3, but it's a Ubisoft game so that's a given. However, it's improved a lot since they released it and it's become one of my favorite multiplayer games from the recent years. But still, there are a few things that could be refined and added to make the game better. And these are the top 7 ways to improve Rainbow Six Siege. My own personal list of suggestions for the developers or for the community to discuss about how Rainbow Six Siege can be improved, enhanced, enriched, and in general made a better game. It's already good. I am enjoying myself more and more each day. So much that I've done something I seldom do with a video game. I bought the DLC when it was full priced. The one from this year, I mean. And mind you, I only spent 15 bucks on the base game. I had the starter edition and I unlocked every one of the original operators plus half the DLC ones. So if you have the standard edition, don't you dare, do not dare complain to me that it takes time to unlock them. Are we clear? Marvelous. That being said, let's begin with number 7, drawing on the map. Now, this is a feature that they showed in the E3 version of the game, the pre-alpha, which wasn't, it was pre-rendered. I gotta be honest, that thing wasn't in-game in any way, shape or form. But the drawing bit that I liked, and that can still have its uses, being able to draw on the map in that minute or less than a minute that takes place between when the round starts and when the attackers can actually move, can be used to draw on the map, a certain set of tactical plans. Say we go here, we do this, being able to see the floor plans of the building better, which is something you can do currently, just see the vague outline of it. Especially if you're in casual mode, you don't even see the floor plans for each individual floor, you just see the roof, if it does have a roof, and that's it. And I feel that this would really help a team work better. It will stop people from, just rushing in blindly the wrong way, or at least, okay, it won't stop people from doing that, they'll always do that, but at least those who are willing to cooperate will know what to do. Even if you don't have voice chat, you'll know where to go. Like you will have a battle plan going in, even a small one, a little one, just a tiny little. I know it's gonna be filled with penises like 5 seconds after it's implemented, but for those of us who aren't 12, it would be a neat feature to add into the game. Number 6, improve map location randomization. This is just a casual thing because, rank mode doesn't need this. In rank mode you can choose the location, but in casual you can't. And I've noticed that, I think it was before or after Operation Health, that locations weren't being properly randomized. Okay, random can mean the same thing 50 billion times and then another different thing. That can be totally random. That's within the infinity of randomness. So maybe true randomness isn't what I'm going for, but if the same location was just chosen like twice for an objective, exclude it a third time. And don't let them repeat so much. Like, I've played matches on maps like House where we never had a reason to go upstairs because nothing ever happened upstairs. All the objectives were downstairs or in the basement. Usually they were all in the basement mostly. Like 5 rounds all in the basement. Okay, maybe it was 4 rounds all in the basement and then we won, but the idea is still the same. Not moving the objective around from round to round really underuses the map. It doesn't let it fulfill its fullest potential. It's probably not something difficult to do either. Just get the function that decides where things spawn at the beginning of a round to check if it was the same location the last round, and if it was, move it somewhere else. And keep a record of them, make full use of the map. Make a check, was it there last round? Okay, move it somewhere else, unless was 2 rounds ago in that place. Yes, okay, then move it to the 3rd place. And by then, you don't even need to check anymore, like 2 rounds back, that's enough. To give things variety, spice, to liven things up. It helps a lot. I don't know, this is just a casual thing, so competitive won't be affected, but the next one does affect all of them. Number 5, bots. We need them. Currently, when someone quits a game, 2 things happen. If it's competitive, there's a chance they may come back and reconnect. Maybe they left because it was a glitch in the server, which sometimes happened, but as long as that player is gone, there's no one there. One team has an absolutely immense disadvantage because this is a team game. And while yes, some people can absolutely ace the others, the 5 kills, 4 kills, 3 kills, yeah, sure, but at the same time, you would somehow rely on that other person to be there. Like, if it's a tight situation, if the teams are evenly matched, actually having a bot there, I mean, even if he just stands there with the recruit as a placeholder for when someone takes him over, it's still something. But ideally, it would have an AI. Just look at Counter-Strike. The bots, they're idiots in Counter-Strike. They're not smart. They don't have to be super duper smart here either. Just be the bare minimum possible, you know, at using their abilities. If they spawn into someone that left that had another operator than the recruit, have them be able to reinforce things as a defender, maybe shoot enemies when they see them. Just don't use the same AI you use for single player, well, for co-op, for the terrorist hunt, because that AI cheats madly. And then when the player that left the game returns, he can take over that bot. Or if the player never returns and it's casual, then someone else jumps in, let them take over that bot after they've loaded. So if it's the middle of a round, do not let them take over the bot. Just let them finish loading, and when the next round begins, take out the bot, it's another player, bam. But if no one else does come, then don't let the bot pick a class at random and do stuff with it. Because without it, it's kind of hard. It can be hard. It's not impossible. I've been in games with 2 players versus 5, and sometimes the 2 players won, sometimes I was one of them, sometimes I was beaten by one of them. Amazing things can happen, but we can't rely on the amazing things, so bots are kinda needed. Number 4, realism mode for PvP. Realism mode was a really attractive thing when the game first came out. Currently it's sort of been like sidelined to the point where I'm not sure if people even play it in Terrorist Hunt anymore. And realism in the co-op mode with the zombies is more about friendly fire being active, which is the default of Rainbow Six Siege, not realism. But adding a more realistic approach in PvP and, you know, team versus team with more limited ammo, with you know, reloading working like in real life, you know, with magazines containing ammo that if you reload them while they're still not empty, you're gonna have to keep them around because they're not in, and you can swap them out and they'll each have their own ammo. And, you know, with less UI, with no pings, just communication, no outlines, that could be a very stressful and very high-end game mode for the people who are not content with the basic way in which Rainbow Six Siege works. I know that this may segment the player base a bit, but honestly, I think Rainbow Six Siege is healthy enough so that a mode like this will not negatively impact casual or ranked. And if you want to draw people towards it, just give it a small boost in regards to the rewards you get compared to the normal matches. Speaking of which, number 3, add R6 credits as rewards for ranked placement. Ranked isn't all that popular. I mean, it can take up to a minute, and off days even longer to find a match. That's not really a pleasant thing. You know what really keeps me away from ranked? There's no point to it. There's no reward. There's no... Well, yeah, there is a reward. You do get the thingy and the icon next to your name, but I want something more tangible. I want R6 credits. Just think about it. Competitive mode will gain a significant boost in the number of players, leading into a more... how should I put this? A bigger hunt for higher skill. People will attempt to get better at the game, to climb the ladder, because as they climb the ladder, they will get bigger rewards in terms of R6 credits. You don't need to make that like a huge amount. Like ideally, the worst possible place you could get at the end of a season, what is it, bronze something something, would let you get a one-day booster pack. Like have something like that. What is it, like 100 points? And just scale that up until at the top end, like, I'm not really sure what the top end is, double platinum with cinnamon and cherry on top, something like that. Give them maybe, I'd say 1,000 points, but I'm not sure if there's a limit to how many people can actually get to the top end, because if the top end is limited by numbers, then yeah, 1,000 points would be okay, because if you know how many people will be able to get there, you're not in any danger of losing the revenue you would get from people buying R6 credits to get the operatives, especially the DLC ones that are 600 in price. Or you could, okay, maybe 1,000 is too much, maybe 800 or just 600 so they can unlock an operator that is from the DLC packs. Give people a reward that's a bit tangible. Okay, maybe not even 600, just give them something so that over time, by excelling at the competitive mode, they can get stuff in the game, stuff that isn't just cosmetic, stuff that's operators, that's the XP boosts, that's all you can get in the game, and I'm fine with that. If that's all you can get in the game, I'm absolutely fine with that. You can leave the cosmetics for the alpha packs. Number 2, a match replay system. A very important method by which people can become better at the game is by studying both their moves and their opponent's moves. But if you just record the game like in video form, like I'm doing at the background right now, you only get a part of the information. You only understand a bit of it, namely your bit. But if you're able to see what was happening throughout the game by recording the entire match and then having the ability to just fly your camera around like you can in kind of every kind of other game, like every esport has this, even PUBG has this, and that's a dreadful game in many aspects, you will be able to better understand the game. You will finally be able to get, oh, so that's how that castle guy made a small hole in his shield that he shot me from as I was coming towards the door, whereas when I was playing his castle I tried punching it and making a small hole that way, but it didn't work. No, honestly, I still don't know how a castle managed to make a hole in his, in his door shield, door reinforcement, like just a tiny hole that was smaller than Fuse's thingamabob. No clue, it just happened once. So we need a replay system. We need a method by which we can analyze our own games and understand how to play better, how the enemy moves, how our own team moves in case some of them play better than us and we want to learn from them, like the caviar that did an ace in this video. And in general, it can be a method by which we can just have fun making clips from the game. It would improve things a lot. And number 1 is communication options. Now, I know there is voice chat, but how should I put this? Voice chat can have downsides. It may not be expedient enough, it may not be clear enough. Some people may not want to use it because it's 2 a.m. and they really don't want to wake up the neighbors or the cat or let people know they're playing, or just don't want to use voice chat because, well, they have bad experiences with it. Horrible. What I'm saying is they've played CSGO and never want to hear the voice of another human being through a game ever. But even CSGO has communication options, like non-verbal ones where you do not speak as a human being, but your character does. Yeah, you have the reloading thing and reinforcing and stuff like that, but what about a quick menu of options like reinforce here or enemy spotted there? You can even have them be contextual, so when they say enemy spotted there, they actually say the place, or flashbang and go, or I'm gonna fuse that, or I'm gonna termite that, or I'm gonna do this to that, or get to A right now because they are kicking the shit out of us, stop roaming, you are not a roamer, go back there now. Such a system would very much improve the efficiency of individuals when playing as a unit, as a team. Drawing on the map, that's a first step, but when you're in the game effectively, that would no longer be an option. So this kind of communication with a radial menu, with the, I don't know, pop-up, with something like CSGO has, or whatever you want to make it like, is going to be really valuable. Even Dota has one, even League of Legends has one, they all have it. Left 4 Dead had one, so it's important that Rainbow Six Siege receives one as well. These were my top 7 suggestions of how to improve Rainbow Six Siege. I will also give a special mention to auto-banning anyone who uses voice chat and their voice sounds like they're under 15 years old. I'm not being ageist or anything, but I don't want this to turn into CSGO. And let's face it, kids are ruining the game. Well, they have ruined it. CSGO is ruined. Well, that and the market. Ubisoft, please never link Rainbow Six Siege to the Steam inventory. Never add those items to the Steam market, because once you do, we will be flooded by speculators and bots and people that are just there to farm items and sell them and care nothing for the game. I was already a bit scared when you had the low-cost version of the game, because that, that kind of lets the rabble in, which I myself including, I am part of the rabble. I couldn't really afford the game back then, but not a lot of the rabble stuck around, because there's no money to be made here. There's no opportunistic thing. There's just a lot of work to unlock the characters, which I was okay with. Again, I've unlocked even Tachanka. I spent hours grinding cash for Tachanka, and also got like half the DLC operators in just a year and a half. So it's possible, it's doable. I'm curious to see what your suggestions are for improving Rainbow Six Siege. Please post a comment with what you believe would make the game better. Goodbye.